I've seen hell, and it is apartment hunting in Los Angeles. Hi, I'm October, and I have had quite the adventure trying to find an apartment in Los Angeles for the past month. Here is my story. So I flew out of Burbank on April 24th, that Friday. We had set up, my mom came with me, and we had set up a bunch of appointments to tour apartments. And now, for the weeks in advance, I had been making like a PowerPoint with slides of all the different buildings and like all the stats and everything, all this information, very organized, very type A. So I was thinking, okay, this is gonna be great. I'm super organized. We're gonna look at all these places. Very excited. There was one building in particular that I kind of had my eye on. And I knew that even though I couldn't seem to get anyone to commit to showing it to me, I was like, I just really want this building so badly. So we land, we rush to our first appointment. We look at the place, it's got tons of closet space, but it's not really the neighborhood I wanted. And it's just, I don't know, it just didn't feel quite like the right fit. So I'm like, screw it. The guy that had emailed me back about this apartment that I really wanted, he had a phone number in his email signature. So I was like, I'm just gonna call him. So I called him and he answers, and I was like genuinely surprised. And I said, hey, my name's October. I'm looking at this apartment. Is there any way that you could make time today or tomorrow for me to see it? And he's like, actually, I'm about to go out of town. I will meet you at the building in like 25 minutes. And I'm like, bet. So we drive that way and we wait for him. So we meet the guy there and we decide, all right, well, let's check it out. Let's walk around. So we walk around the building. The pool is cute. There's literally giant palm trees like in the little apartment complex, like totally cute. We see that there's construction going on, and it looks like they were renovating one of the units, which was very exciting because, wow, that would be great to get a brand new renovated unit, right? So he gets there, he introduces himself, and he says, okay, so basically we have two units that are available. One is the one that is being worked on currently, and then here I will show you the one that hasn't been renovated yet, but we're going to renovate it just so you can get a feel for it. The view was gorgeous. Like the mountains behind Burbank, amazing. So super excited. It was pretty bleh in its current state, but he showed me what the renovations are gonna look like, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, this is it. We can stop looking. We had been off the plane maybe 2 hours at this point, and I was like, we can stop looking. I'm good, I'm done. I want this apartment. So they wanted a lot of paperwork, like a lot of paperwork. And I had actually been unable to get to my pay stubs from the job that I recently left. And so I was like, okay, this is gonna have to be something that we do Monday morning. So not a huge deal, but like, well, we're already here. We're here till Sunday. Let's just enjoy the rest of our trip to LA. So the rest of the weekend was great. I stayed with a friend while she was out of town, which really worked out well. We had a really nice trip. My mom had never been to the Grammy Museum. I was really excited to take her to do that. So we get back to Idaho. Sunday night, my mom gets everything turned in. Monday morning, I get everything turned in. And then we wait. And so I basically started, not like blowing up his phone, okay? But I would definitely say I was enthusiastic and determined. And basically he said, well, it's not a no. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound like a yes. Turns out, so because I don't want to get like into personal finance stuff too much, what I will share is that I do have a bankruptcy. I post Panini, I got myself into some credit card debt, and I basically was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to make like these $900 payments for the rest of my life, or I can file for Chapter 7, I can be free of this debt, and I get a fresh start. And I chose to do that, and I do not regret it. I actually think it was one of the smartest things I've ever done. But now it's a pain. And they were like, well, do you have an offer letter for out here? And I'm like, well, no one's gonna hire me without meeting me. And so I'm so sorry. This is their cat carrier right here. Okay, this is the carrier they're gonna be doing the 13-hour car drive in, and they are losing their minds over, but I wanted them to check it out and get used to it, you know, before we actually leave. So I'm like, okay, well, here's other stuff. So I sent them the lease because I have renters for this house. You know, I sent like, you know, my savings statements to be like, look how much money I've saved for this move. So I have a co-signer. It's my mom. She makes significantly more money than me. But her credit score wasn't as high as, I don't know, the way they pulled it makes still no sense to me, but whatever. So basically they were like, well, we're gonna just see. So 3 weeks of this, of me following up, hey, have they made a decision yet? And then he says, well, are you willing to wait to be closer to your move date? Because I think they wanna see if someone else applies, but if they don't, then they'll give you the place. And I was like, that's fine. I had already kind of decided on this place. Great, whatever. So we get to, the original move date was supposed to be May 22nd, which this is Wednesday. So in 2 days was my original move date. So now we're getting close. This was last week, last Monday. And I said, okay, I have to like tell the movers what the plan is. Like I have to tell the movers what day to come pick up my stuff and where to take it. So what's up? And he goes, the owners would like to request 6 months rent up front, and then they will approve you. 6 months? For the record, that is $12,000. What? So I'm thinking that's insane, right? That's crazy. Who has $12,000 just laying around? I had saved up a pretty decent amount of money, but not 12 grand. So I don't reply immediately. And I was like, all right, I need to find another place to apply to. So there was this other building that was a little bit further north than I wanted to be, but it had lots of amenities. It was I felt like it was a good fit. So I apply with my co-signer. They would not take my background check and credit check that I just applied for a couple weeks ago. They was like, we have to do it. And everyone I talked to said, our management company has to do it. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna do another hard pull on both of our credit? Cool, awesome. So we applied for a second place. Within 36 hours, they were like, you have been declined. And I'm like, my mom makes crazy money. And I have a great credit score. Even with a bankruptcy, I still have a 683, which is pretty good for someone with a credit score and also is above the threshold of what most of these buildings are asking for. So I thought that was very silly, but what I did appreciate was that 36-hour turnaround was much better than being put on the hook for 3 weeks. So now I'm panicking. I'm like, wow, I'm supposed to move next week and I have no place to go. Freaking out, right? So I am like, well, what's the plan? And I feel like my mom and I are kind of starting to butt heads because she's kind of on this boat that I'm driving and I'm bad at it. And so I feel like her patience was wearing thin with me. I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, what if I just don't get a place and then I have to move in with my mom in Idaho? That's a horror story because as much as I love my mom and she's my best friend in the whole wide world, we should not live together. We have tried it once when I've been an adult and it does not work. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the original building and I'm gonna offer them 3 months rent. I have 3 months rent and I think that would be more than fair. Leasing agent gets back to me and says, hey, so California state law says we can't actually do that. And I was like, well, what the hell does that mean? So I do some digging and sure enough, there is a law in California that if an owner wants rent up front, they cannot ask for less than 6 months. So instead of there being a maximum, there's a minimum. What? So I'm like, okay, we need plan C. So I actually randomly see on Zillow this building that I thought I couldn't afford, posted a unit that I'm like, hey, it's a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but I could make it work. Okay, so I play phone tag a little bit because I and I get to a leasing person and they're like, honestly, it's all online. You can literally just go push apply now online. You can go apply for the apartment. And I was like, awesome, great, let's do it. So I go to try and apply for this apartment and I get this error message saying that this unit has been reserved by another applicant. And it says on the website, like, oh, if you apply for an apartment, you get to hold it for 24 hours. And I was like, okay, so someone probably applied. We'll see if the unit's still available tomorrow. And so I'm checking that, like that next 24 hours, I checked a lot. So I'm checking, and then the next day, now it's 3 p.m. It's been that 24 hours. It still says that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to call. This was Friday. I was like, I'm going to call and I'm going to see if maybe there's something not working on my end or whatever. Because I've now tried to apply to this place 5 times and I keep getting that same message. Because I just kept trying because I'm like, well, I don't want anyone else to apply for it because it feels like such a good deal for the apartment that it is. So I call, I leave a voicemail. She calls me back in the middle of my work shift, of course, because why would that not happen? And she's like, well, did you try on a desktop or are you just trying to do it on your phone? I'm like, well, I've now tried it on 5 different devices, including a school computer. And I feel like that wouldn't, I've tried on so many devices, I don't think that that's the issue. So I tell her, I got to go back to work. So then that night I go home and I create a new account on their portal and try to apply there. I still get that error message. And then my mom, AKA my co-signer, was like, I'm going to try. And she got the same error message. She was like, okay, cool. It's not just me. So I leave another voicemail and I said, hey, I tried to apply. My co-signer tried to apply. So this is now Saturday morning when she calls me back. And she says, okay, weird. It must be an IT issue. I don't even know how to open an IT ticket. Let me see what I can do. And I was like, cool, bet. And she's like, well, it is Saturday though, so it wouldn't be until Monday at the earliest that they would fix it. And I'm like, freaking out, right? Like that is, we're getting down to the wire. So Monday rolls around and I pretty much accepted defeat. I was like, okay, I'm not moving this week. We're gonna have to push it a week. So now instead of it being Memorial Day weekend, it will be the following weekend, next weekend, which is the weekend of the 29th. Not the end of the world, but oh my God, can we please just get something together? Can we please I just need a W so badly. So I try all day Monday, no luck. I try in the morning, yesterday, Tuesday. I leave another voicemail and I said, hey, it's still not fixed. Like, can you get back to me when you can? I've been talking to the same woman this whole time. I feel like I should mention that. Talking to the same woman this whole time. So she calls me back and she says, well, can you come in? And I'm like, I cannot come in. I cannot come in. She's like, yeah, because there's not really another way around it. And I was like, well, okay. She's like, well, there's one more thing. You could apply for a different unit. And then if that works, then we can just switch the units over after you pay the security deposit. And I was like, that's been an option this whole time. Okay. Let's do that then. But in the background, there was another plot twist. Monday night, I get an email from the leasing agent from the original building saying, hey, they want to try and rent this place without the renovations. Now keep in mind, it was kind of not great without the renovations. The rent would be $200 less. And so I wrote back, I was like, well, the unit when I saw it, because he said as is, the unit when I saw it, and no refrigerator, no dishwasher, will those things be provided? And do I still have to pay this 6 months up front? Because I'm like, I need a guarantee somewhere. So I told my mom, I go, here's the thing. I am not moving in with you. If I have to figure out whatever, if I have to take concessions and move into that place that's like not cute before the renovations, it is what it is. I'm not moving in with you. I'm not staying in Idaho. I am done. I'm ready to go home. And I think that everyone was pleased with that in general. So I have this in the back of my mind. So yesterday morning, that leasing agent reaches out to me and says, you would still need the 6 months up front. What? So you want $11,000 for a place that's kind of dumpy before the renovations? It's like old brown carpet. It was not cute. So I'm like, well, that's my last resort if I have it. So I get off the phone with the woman. This is now, we're skipping around a little bit. So last night, I get off the phone with the leasing agent at the building, the really nice building I didn't think I was going to be able to afford. And I was like, my mom, literally, I'm still on the phone. My mom is grabbing her laptop because I'm at her house because she's taking one of my cats, who seems to be pretty happy living with her. So I think it's a good situation for all involved, because I can't bring 3 cats with me to an apartment. So she brings me the laptop. I get, I fill everything out and I hit submit. And this is the part where it usually stops me. It goes, no. And that did not happen. So I had to apply for a different unit. Apparently that was the solution to all the issues. So I apply, I do my part. I send her the link to do her co-signer part. What's cool is that because I've been waiting 5 days to apply for this apartment, I've read all of the fine print and I saw that it was a soft credit pull. And I was like, that's amazing. So other than the $120 application fee for the 2 of us total, it was like $60 each. It's no sweat off our backs. So if I get declined, it is what it is. It sucks a lot, but at least it's not another hard pull on our credit. So while she's still filling out her portions, mine's done, it says that like my application has been, returned or decision returned or something like that. And before she's even done, but I can't see it because everybody on the application has to have their stuff in before you can see anything. So she hits submit. Keep in mind, they asked for way less information than everyone else. They just wanted some kind of income verification, which was easy because I work for the school district, at least for the next 3 days anyway. They asked for income verification and like they did a criminal background check. It was very simple. They just wanted to make sure that I paid my bills. That's it. And I do. So she hits submit, I'm holding my device to try and see like, ooh, can I see what they said about me before they get back to I'm not kidding, within 30 seconds, you have been approved. And look, I know that I'm very dramatic. I'm well aware that I am very dramatic, but I collapsed on the floor. I got into kind of like child's pose in yoga. And I am like, I'm laughing, I'm crying out of release. I don't know. I'm just so thrilled. Oh my God, I have a place to live. I have a place to live. And it was a soft pull and it took 30 seconds for them to tell me that. After everything I've been through, this couldn't have been more simple except for the fact that I couldn't actually apply for the unit that I wanted. And I had to jump through all these hoops, but I don't care because I'm in a nice building in a great neighborhood. I'm literally walking distance from my old place when I lived in Burbank before. I'm centrally located to everything I want to be centrally located to. I'm just so relieved. So I wanted to wait to make this video until I signed the lease. Instead, what I've done is I just paid the security deposit, like literally right before I started filming this. I signed the security deposit. They said that the application team will reach out to me now that I've done that, and then they can switch over the unit and I can submit my certification for my emotional support kitties, because they do have their certification because they are very good girls that help me with my BPD. So yeah, so that's the adventure I've been on. It's been really hard. I've been in basically a permanent terrible mood, and I am so grateful to be through it. I'm not gonna move in 2 days. That's not practical because I hired movers. This is not like let's go get the U-Haul and let's do this thing. I hired movers because we always do the U-Haul, and honestly, my mom and I are not as springy chickens as we used to be. And so it's worth paying more money to have help and just get it done. So feeling full of gratitude, full of excitement, because now I feel like I can actually be excited for this move. Yeah, so thanks for watching this video. More to come. Wow. There's a bunch of other stuff, like job stuff, and there's a bunch of other things I'll probably make a separate video for, but I had to tell the apartment hunting nightmare. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe.